Morning. Today's practical aim is separation of amino acid by paper chromatographic technique. First, we will talk regarding the principle involved in this particular paper chromatographic technique. Now, as chromatography, we know it is a separation technique for any category of sample, but specifically we are focusing here on the paper as a stationary phase in the separation process. Now, this particular paper chromatographic technique here, the paper is supposed to act as a stationary phase and the liquid mobile phase will be in nature. The mobile phase will be liquid in nature and stationary phase will be paper, and this paper is made up of specifically alpha cellulose. The content of the paper contains nearly 99% of alpha cellulose in it, and we will be using specifically the Whatman filter paper series, and those papers are divided on the basis of their number depending on the rate of flow, their thickness. So we have selected appropriately the Whatman filter paper, which we will be considering it as a stationary phase, and cellulose of which the paper is being made will be acting as a stationary phase here, and the water molecules which are held on the surface of the fibers of cellulose, usually the water molecule, that will provide us the partitioning behavior, because the mobile phase is a liquid and the water held on the surface of the fibers of cellulose. Since those waters are on the surface of the fiber, so the effective interaction between the stationary and mobile phase will take place, and the separation mechanism which will be operating here will be partition type, and the samples will be separated based on their partition coefficient between the two phases involved here. Now, why we don't use the simple filter paper, because Whatman is also a category of paper which is specifically preferred. We have other categories also, Macquarie and Nagel, then Schul series is also there, but availability with us, we have the Whatman series. So if the sheet is available, why we don't go for the use of this simple filter paper which we daily use in our filtration process? Because this is also made up of cellulose, this is also made up of cellulose, but the difference lies in their tensile strength, their nature. If we see the orientation of the fiber, specifically this is Whatman filter paper, if you see the arrangement of the fiber in this Whatman filter paper, we may not be able to even recognize the differences, how uniformly the fibers are present for the cellulose on this filter paper, Whatman filter paper sheet. So we want such a uniform fibers which should not allow the disturbance of the mobile phase while it is trying to run in the upward direction or the ascending direction. If we focus on this particular, say, simple filter paper, if we go very close to the view, the fibers which are arranged here in the simple filter paper, they are not that much uniform, they are not that much and we can see the break of the fibers in between, which indicates the patches are there. So that creates a problem during the ascending movement of the mobile phase. So this simple filter paper we cannot use for the chromatographic separation process. Now, once the choice of the paper is being made, because we have different papers available, but we will be going with the Whatman series. Now, once the paper selection is done, we have to use mobile phase according to the sample which we want to analyze. But before talking regarding the mobile phase, I would like to talk regarding the migration parameter which we will be calculating after the experiment is over. In paper chromatography, the most reliable or the most oftenly calculated migration parameter is the RF value or the retardation factor, which is calculated as distance traveled by the sample from origin to the distance traveled by mobile phase or say solvent from origin. So this is the qualitative parameter which we will be calculating once the experiment is over. The distance traveled by the sample from the origin line to the distance traveled by the mobile phase or the solvent used as mobile phase from the origin line. Another migration parameter is Rx. Now this Rx is usually used if we are not interested or if we have forgotten or the overrun of the mobile phase has taken place, or if we have the availability of standard with us, so we can go with the determination of this Rx parameter, which is calculated as distance traveled by sample from origin to the distance traveled by standard from origin. Now here if we have the specific standard available with us, say for example if we are trying to estimate any carbohydrate, so usually we prefer glucose as a standard, or say if we want to analyze any other category of functional group, we need to have a proper standard available with us. So here the distance traveled by the solvent will not be we will not be taking into consideration. Here we will be matching or we will be calculating this migration parameter with respect to the standard. Now if this value matches with the standard, then it would be very easy to identify the unknown compound, because if the distance traveled by the unknown sample as well as the standard remains the same, or after calculation we find that the distance is whatever is being traveled is similar to the distance traveled by the standard, we can say the unknown compound is identified as the standard one. But here we will be matching the RF value in a given chromatographic condition for the unknown sample with respect to the solvent front, and we have to match it with some standard values for establishing the identity of the unknown compound. One thing we have to remember here is that no two compounds can exhibit the same RF value in same chromatographic condition, and the RF value will always be below 1. Here the Rx value can be above 1, that could be possible. तो ये below 1 इसलिए कि जो भी sample है that is always divided by the distance traveled by the solvent, so it cannot have a value beyond 1. Now we will see the procedure for how we have to spot the sample, how we have to take the paper, cut it according to the size of the paper, according to the size of the development chamber. We will be taking the paper, cut it in appropriate size and then apply the spot, and we will see the development process taking place with the ascending paper development technique. For carrying out the process, we will be requiring a development chamber. Here I am using a beaker. Instead of the big development chamber, I will be requiring the capillary tubes for spotting purpose. This is the spraying bottle through which I will be spraying the colored reagent, because in the present experimentation, amino acid which I am trying to estimate does not have its own color, but it will be estimated by spraying the ninhydrin solution, and the complex which is formed after the heating will exhibit a purple color. So I have the spraying reagent available with me, very specific for the amino acid, which is ninhydrin prepared in butanol acetic acid mixture, and individual unknown amino acids solution also I have prepared, and I have cut this particular paper according to the size of this particular chamber, I need to have a lid which will not allow the solvent to vaporize here, because it needs to be in a closed lid, or it should have the lid so that the saturation can be carried out. Now I will draw the picture how we have to apply the spot. We can cut the paper either in square shape or rectangular shape as we are desired, or as the availability of the chamber is there with us. Then we will be drawing a very faint origin line on one side of the paper, and this origin line will be serving for us during the calculation of the RF value. Once this particular origin line is being drawn, so we have to take care that we have to leave that much space where the origin line, when we are dipping the paper in the developing chamber, it should not go below the mobile phase. So that here we have to take, so minimum approximately we can go with at least 2 centimeter above the actual end of the paper. Then we will be applying the spot with the help of the capillary in the form of the circular spot, because the spot will get diffused from its position. So here the volume or the concentration, depending on, if the concentration is low, then you can apply it 2-3 times on the same side. If the concentration is high, we can apply appropriate volume, because too much diffusion should not be there of the given spot, and maximum the spot diameter which is advisable should not cross beyond 5 mm after we have applied. So once the spotting is being carried out with the help of the capillary tubes and the saturation of the mobile phase is done, we will roll this paper, because this particular paper cannot withheld or does not have that much strength. It can hang in the position within the chamber. If I try to hang like this, the paper may try to fold from the bottom once it is getting wet. So it is very important that since the chamber is round in shape, I will be folding this particular paper in such a way that the two ends of this paper I will staple at this end, I will staple this at this particular end, and the spots should lie in this particular central area, because I will be folding both the ends. I am not using any aid like Fevicol or gum stick or any other aid for making this to stick. I am just applying the staple here and below, because after the development here we will be running the mobile phase around 70 to 75% of the paper height. Once this is achieved, I will remove this paper and I can easily open, because the staples are on this particular end and it is below the origin line, so I am not disturbing this particular area which we call it as a chromatographic area, and I will not be holding the paper in this particular area. Whatever handling of the paper is to be done will be done from this particular side, and once the development is done, I will remove the staple and open this and allow it to dry for some time, so that the mobile phase vapor runs off. And once the paper is dried, I will be spraying the ninhydrin solution and keep it in oven for at least 10 minutes for the development of color. And once the waiting period is over in the oven, we can see the purple spot develop for the specific amino acid or the unknown sample which we will be applying on this paper. This used during this experimentation process comprises of the butanol, acetic acid, glacial, and water. The ratio for 10 ml quantity I am mentioning here is 6 part will be N-butanol, 2 part glacial acetic acid, and 2 parts water. Here what is important is the mobile phase should be a one single layer. It should not lead to formation of any emulsion, or there should not be existence of any two layer within the mobile phase, because butanol solubility of water and butanol is little bit problematic, so we have to add cautiously the water when we are trying to add the glacial acetic acid will help us in dissolving this much quantity of the water, and we will get a single layer of the mobile phase. So this is the capillary. This is the sample solution for the amino acid. I will be filling and then applying on the paper. This is I am using just to press the paper here. The spot you can see here the spot is getting diffused from its position. If it is, I will allow it to little bit dry. Again, if we feel that the solution is diluted, we can further apply on the same position and allow the spot to. And if we are trying to apply the number of bands here, there should be equidistance between the spots so that they get enough space for the movement, and there should not be any overlapping during the development process or the traveling of the spot once they are in the mobile phase. I will allow the spot to dry. Again, I will be applying little bit volume on it and allow the paper to dry for some period of time. Now I have filled the mobile phase in the developing chamber. I am putting a filter paper strip so that I am aware regarding the saturation of this particular chamber. I can visualize it from outside. From the corner, one corner, I have tried to attach this for my easy visualization. So around 10 minutes I will be waiting, or 15 minutes I will be waiting for the saturation to take place for this particular chamber, and then I will come back for dipping the paper in this particular chamber. Since the spots are dried, what we had applied, I will be folding both the ends of this particular paper to prepare or to make a hollow cylinder. I will staple both the ends, and precaution what I am taking is my fingers or hand should not reach the chromatographic area, or it should not produce any fingerprints on that. Now almost 15 minutes are over. You can see the saturation which is indicated by the height the mobile phase has reached on this particular paper. If you imagine, it is almost 80% or 90% of the chamber has almost got saturated. Now I will dip this particular paper which I have prepared it in the hollow cylinder type under this chamber and allow the development process to take place. We are dipping this particular paper in the beaker. We have to take the precaution that the paper should not disturb much the layer of the mobile phase, and we have to cover the lid and allow the process of development to take place. And we can visualize once the 70 to 80% height of the paper has been achieved, we can stop the development. And this is paper ascending technique in which I have not used any aid or support or stick or any thread to hold the paper, because I want the chamber to be closed. So I have made a hollow cylinder, and now the development process, you can see the mobile phase is running by the running in the upward direction by the capillary action, and I will leave it for the time till it reaches the 70% height of the paper. So after I had opened both the staples and allow the paper to dry. You can see my paper has completely dried now. Now I am unable to visualize it from the normal eyes because amino acids are colorless, or we can we call it lacks chromophoric group, so we are unable to see it or observe it is not a colored compound. So I will be now using the specific reagent ninhydrine so that I can visualize the spot key, how much distance they have traveled under this particular set of chromatographic condition. So after drying of the spraying reagent ninhydrine for 10 to 15 minutes at 80 degree, I have got the purple color spot which is very clearly visualized. Now we have to measure the distance traveled by the spot as well as solvent front, and we will calculate the RF value and will complete the calculation part.